Kev, what have your reflections been on our previous match at Forest Green Rovers?
Disappointed to lose. I thought we were very good, especially second half. And when you take the lead, you want to go and win the game, but it wasn't to be. So yeah, frustration. And should have got something from the game.
You were managing various absences at the time. Can you provide an update on the condition of some of the players that maybe weren't involved in the game, and also Andrew Dallas as well, please?
Yeah, Dallas just waiting for a scan on his hamstring, but listen, I think he came off at the right time to do anything further. He feels a lot better. So hopefully the timeline on that won't be too bad. Leon missed out for illness, of course, but he's trained this week. So feels better. We've had a couple of bits. Josh Walker didn't train at all for the 2 days before that, so we ended up bringing him anyway, just because we were short on the bench. He started to feel better, so he's trained. Slavy's had a little bit of illness. Obviously, he lives with Leon, so that's that one. Keenan had bruising on his foot, which he got last Thursday. We brought him because we hoped, the bruising went down quick enough, we might have been able to do something within the game Saturday. But he hasn't. So he's missed some training this week as well. So that's probably where we are on all that. Yeah, Harry Taylor, of course, is trained. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. And then Charlie Kendall travelled with the team as well. How's he coming along at the moment? Yeah,
good. Got another week's training into him. So which that will stand him in good stead. Obviously the process of getting in minutes and used to football again, and he needed a bank of training with the team, because he didn't have that last week, so that's why he wasn't ready, on medical advice, and obviously with hamstrings you've got to be so careful on that. We don't want any repeat injuries on that.
Looking at Rochdale, what challenges are you expecting from them?
Yeah, listen, really, really tough. We know we've had some really good encounters in the last couple of years, and obviously going back to the playoffs, etc. But they've done brilliantly. Started, and top of the table for all the right reasons, and really consistent. A very, very good team, really good structure. And listen, their league position tells you how well they're doing.
Nice one, thanks, Kev.
You've gone through some of the injury assessments. Obviously, Harry Taylor coming back, a few players from illness as well. Charlie Kendall getting close. How much of a boost is that to have these players?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You need all your players available, and you want them all, fit and raring to go, because we've seen early in the season that they make a huge difference having a strong squad.
Yeah, and obviously with Andy Dallas, you said he's going in for a scan. Yeah. Obviously you wait to hear from that. Has it seen you sort of? I know you're always looking in the market and stuff, but has it seen you look at anything in particular when it comes to market?
Yeah, of course. I think we'll always look. And there's, because of the National League, there's obviously no window. I think everyone's doing the same, and you'll always look at areas you can improve. And listen, touch wood, Dallows isn't too bad, and he'll be back very soon. But I don't think it'll be any different to any manager in the league that's always looking to improve if they think they can.
I know there's been a bit of speculation about some former Southend player, Harry Coddle. Is there anything you can tell us about that?
Not at the minute, no. I hear the noise around it itself, of course, and we know what we think of Harry, but no, nothing at the minute.
Fair enough. Well, it's Rochdale side, as you've said already, first in what is a tight race at the top of the National League. What do you think it is that's putting them in that position at the moment?
I think just the consistency of what they built on last year, done ever so well, and the number of points they accrued to get in the playoffs, and they've built on that. Recruited well, and a real consistency to how they work and what they do, and that's a credit to them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing very strong at home as well. What do you think it would take for Southend to get a result from?
No, listen, being everything we do well, you've got to do that, and you've got to. Absolute respect for your opponents, and they're a very good side, not just at home, but so consistent. But we'll look for ways that we can beat them, and there's been some good games between the two teams, and I'm no doubt it'll be the same again.
Like you said after the game on Saturday, you're really proud of the team, especially with the errors that you'd had in there as well. From that Forest Green where you had the lead, but then it came so close in the end. What do you think what was one thing you'd like to see change from that game going into this weekend? No,
listen, win the game. That's it. Yeah, listen, there's so much that you can take from it, and so proud of the players. And you look at, I think the points total we've got this year from last year, we're up. quite a bit with still some games before we turn the year. So loads of positives to take. Going toe to toe with the teams right at the top. We want to be there, and we want to take that next step. And we want to come out the right side them results, because there's fine lines in games, and moments that didn't go our way, but we've got to make sure they do.
And on that, you praise the teams, the effort they put in again, and with injuries and illness, we speak a lot about competition, but with everyone having so much rotation and match minutes under their belt, I guess you sort of really see that sort of the full benefits of it in a situation like that. Yeah,
of course, and I think when people have to step in, they've got to be ready, and that's why you need a squad, and we keep saying to players when they're in around it or haven't got a thing, you've got to train properly. You look after yourself, make sure you're right, because the chance will come probably sometimes when you least expect it, and that's always part and parcel of football, and that's why you need a squad.
Thank you.
How's Ben Goodley? Did he come through okay? So you had that
Yeah, we just had to manage him the start of the week, and hopefully he's got through a couple of good sessions now, and and should be fine.
Yeah, and it's the first time we've spoken to you since Adam Crowther's gone out. Is that really because he needs minutes?
Yeah.
It's best for everyone, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I think he hadn't played since December last year at York, and needs minutes. When the back line have been pretty consistent in terms of Harry Goody, Gubbo when he's come in. So I think it's important Adam goes and gets minutes and can build up a good bank of minutes.
I was going to mention Joe Gubbins because it's sometimes a bit of an unsung hero, isn't he? He sort of drops in and drops out, and he was right side on Saturday, and he's been in the middle, he's been on the left. I mean, players like that must be, without putting much out, invaluable for you. Yeah,
absolutely. And if you see Gubbo during the week, he always does extra, and all them little bits and pieces, 15, 20 minutes every day, that, they're the bits that make sure you're ready, when called upon, and, never lets the team down. And they had to play slightly different Saturday until we tweaked the system a little bit, but all credit to him, and that's part of being a professional.
And how good to have Harry Taylor back. It must have been a bit weird. I think it was 63 games in a row or so. It must have been a bit weird to have a team sheet without him. Yeah,
very strange, and hopefully, as you say, to play that many games so consistently is testament to him. And listen, hopefully that break, might have done him good, and he can kick on again.
And with Charlie Kendall, was Saturday maybe too soon, or what's the thinking? Could he be involved in a late check?
Yeah, probably we'll have to assess that depending on who's available, and see where the squad's at. In an ideal world, you'd get him minutes behind the scenes in a game of some sort. But I'm sure, if called upon, Charlie will be needed and be ready.
Is that something you're trying to do then to get him a game, or is it?
Yeah, we're looking at something like that. Yeah, getting behind the closed doors games which would be handy for people needing minutes going into Christmas period. So, something we will look at.